What is going on, everybody? I am Netcat, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to install my MFANN models. This video will cover the desktop model, which I will be showing in this section of the video. It is an 8 billion parameter model based on Llama 3.1, and the latest version, thanks to MFANN, is now completely obliterated. Basically meaning he attached a script that scanned the model as it's being prompted to determine which network within the overall 8 billion parameter neural network actually is responsible for censorship, like which pathway would actually fire off every time it refused a response. And as far as I can tell, as far as I'm aware, these scripts, what they're designed to do is they cherry pick that pathway that causes the model to actually refuse a response by prompting it and scanning the model, and once that pathway is determined, it basically prunes that pathway away, effectively removing the model's ability to censor any of its responses. And because of the amazing work of this fellow, I was able to actually use this as a base to actually, because it's still Llama 3.1, and actually train it to make, my models based on my data set, which I've spent a lot of time on. But this dude, he did a really good job with this model, and I want to shout out to this guy, MFANN, for actually, removing, for obliterating these models and removing censorship from them, which is useful because then I could, train it on my data set, and, it's really useful. And my data set's a chain of thought data set, so it basically, we're all helping each other out in the open source ecosystem. But anyways, let's get over to the let's get on with the video. So to actually install the model, what you need to do is you need to navigate to the Hugging Face link that I'll have linked in the description below, and you want to look for the gguf file right here. And this, the name basically shows the version number and the quantization type. Once you have it downloaded, which I already have downloaded, you want to go to your downloads folder, and you want to select the model file that you have downloaded right here, and you want to move it to in a previous video I've showed how to install GPT-4all. GPT-4all is one of many programs out there that let you run GGUF based models on your own local hardware, and you don't have to have GPT-4all in particular, but you do have to have a program that can load GGUF models. And GPT-4all is something that I use. It's available for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. In a previous video, I filmed how to install this on Windows, but I'm currently on a Linux system now because I don't want to use Windows anymore because of the Copilot spyware crap. But it's pretty self-explanatory. All you really got to do is download the file and then run the .run file. If you're on Linux or if you're on Windows, you just download the exe file and then run it that way. I don't want to clutter my space up. Where did that get stored? But yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. But once you actually install GPT-4all, the actual location that stores the models are as in Linux, it's home user, which in my case is netcat .local share, and I believe Gnomic AI is the Gnomic AI folder should be there after that. If you're on Windows, it's it's the users directory, it's the app data directory, and local. So I'm on a Linux system, right? And I'm moving the actual model file to local share, and yep, Gnomic AI, GPT-4all, bam, there we go. That is how you gotta make sure that when you actually download my model, you put the model itself into this directory right here. Where GPT-4all basically stores the model files. Otherwise, the program will not be able to see my model. Once you have that done, you just open GPT-4all up, And like so, you should be able to instantly start chatting. That model is loaded. What I'm gonna do is click it, and perfect. Once it loads, which it should load very soon, I'm gonna prompt it. Oh, one more thing. This is extremely important or the model will not behave as expected at all. The system prompt that I have right here on the actual front page of the model itself is based was what the model was trained on. Like this is the prompt, like the starting prompt that the model was trained on during training to be able to like basically train it to be able to answer questions in a way that's gated and doesn't just, hallucinate most of what it's saying. So you do absolutely have to put this system prompt in the system prompt area. Otherwise, the model will not behave as expected at all. And to do that, you just go over to Settings in GPT for All, copy this right here, and then you go over to Model, and then right here where it says System Prompt, you just paste that right there. And personally, I changed the settings. I change the context length to 8192 tokens. I change this to 1, change the top K to 50, and change the temp to 0.5. How I have my screen here is basically how you're supposed to have it for the model to work properly. And once you get all that done, you can actually start chatting with it. I'm gonna ask it, let's test it. I'm gonna have it write a simple neural network in C++ using the standard library. This is going to see if it can actually use the basic data types in C++ that represent the vectors of a neuron, which usually most models nowadays can. And it seems to be doing pretty good. And it seems pretty fast too, provided that I'm literally recording right now and have a browser open. That's actually kind of impressive. But yeah, this is the model in action. It's coding, so it's acting as expected. That's good. And it is a little slower because I am recording, but yeah. That is basically how you use my model. You just download it from Hugging Face. Make sure you have GPT-4All installed. Navigate to the directory that stores the models, which GPT-4All used to show. No, it doesn't show anymore. Interesting. Oh wait, yes, it does, right here. So this download path right here is basically where the program's going to want to look for the model file. And when in the model file is what I have right here, which is of course linked in the description below. Anywho, now that that's out of the way, I'm going to hop over to my phone and record the mobile side of things, where I'll show you guys how to install the Android version of this model, which instead of having 8 billion parameters has 3 billion parameters, which is less than half. So the model is less than half as complex. And of course, there is reduced intelligence, but I have done my best to try to keep it as smart as possible.
Right, I am now over on the mobile side of things. Now, this of course will be linked in the description below, but for the mobile side of things, I actually have two different GGUF files, and these are for, whatever device types you might have. The non-L model, the just MFANN 3BV0.18.gguf, the slightly bigger file, that's the full 4-bit, 6-bit quantization type, so basically 4-bit memory weights and 6-bit attention weights. That has almost no quality loss from the standard 32-bit output that, is the result of the model's, training. And that's actually a part of, what Neural LLD does to actually keep the intelligence at the same levels while, dramatically reducing the compute requirements to run the model. And the L model is basically just, instead of memory weights being 4 bits and attention weights being 6 bits, I pruned back the memory weights to 3 bits and the attention weights back to 5 bits. Both models are the same 3 billion parameter model. They're the exact same model with the same weight placements. It's just the L model has 1 bit removed from each attention head and each memory weight. So basically those same weights are represented with 3 binary digits rather than 4. And the result is barely any difference, but you know, there might be a very, very slight quality loss from the L model, but nothing nearly noticeable enough. That's designed only for like devices with less RAM or like 4 gigs of memory. But anyways, once you navigate to this link, you just click the download button and you just download the model. I already have the model file, so from here, all you got to do is navigate to Chatter UI, which is also in the description below. This is a, you know, like GPT for all, this is a GGUF model running application that you install on your phone. It basically allows you to run llama.cpp models, which are llama.c++, but it's abbreviated CPP. It's basically an artificial intelligence quantization algorithm that basically 90% of models in the open source space use. And like GPT for all, this is basically a llama.cpp interface for Android. If you're on iOS, I believe LLM Farm is available on the App Store, which also has support for llama.cpp models, and all llama.cpp models are .gguf files. So if you want to install other models other than mine, you could use this tutorial to do just that as well. And to install Chatter UI, you just navigate to their website, which will be linked in the description below. You just click this link to download it, and because I already have it, I'm not going to re-download it and clutter my hard drive space. Now to actually use the model, what you want to do is you want to open Chatter UI. You want to make yourself a new character, which I have already done, but you know, you guys would see like create your character screen. So to create character, you just click that, type in a character, click that, and you should be able to use it. Simple enough. It doesn't really matter what you do there. I'm not going to delete it because, yeah. But to actually use the model, what you want to do is you want to click import model. You click the file you downloaded. It should take a bit to actually import, but once it's actually imported, you should be able to just it should pop up in this list. Yep, you click the list now, and you click the file, click load, and you should be good. One more thing, if you want the model to automatically load every time you open the app, just go to settings and make sure that load local model on chat is clicked and toggled. It's not toggled by default, and you know, me and the rest of the app maintainers are actually going to try to change that very soon, but due to debugging reasons we leave it off. And yeah, once you got that done and set up, one more thing you have to do, just like the 8 billion parameter model, you have to make sure the system prompt is very specific, but in this case it's not that complex of a system prompt, so it's just, you know, instruction and then output. But you know, with the 8B model, that system prompt that I actually have linked with the model is very important that you have that used. I'm going to link both system prompts in the description below. And of course, I'm not going to record this video without actually testing the model, of course. So let's get this to do the same test that the desktop model was doing. Write a simple neural network, C++ using only standard library. Alright. It's going to take a little bit longer to load because I am recording a video. It's actually not doing that bad. It's still pretty fast. It seems to be actually planning how to do it rather than actually writing anything, which some models do. You gotta refresh it. Sometimes you just gotta refresh it and it'll actually give you your desired answer. There we go, now it's writing code. Again, it's 3 billion parameters, it's not 8 billion, so it doesn't have as many synapses as the larger model does, but I've done a lot of work to keep the 3 billion parameter model. It's still pretty intelligent. It's still able to write some pretty good code. The code that it writes is definitely around, and like definitely undergraduate. It's definitely surpassing high school level programming, so that's pretty cool at least. And yeah, that is how you use the Android model, and that is actually how you use both of my AIs. Hope you guys enjoy both models. Let me know if there's anything that needs to be improved in these models. I am working to improve them every day, and I will see you guys in the next video.